Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? It is 2:19 p.m. Mountain Time on Saturday, November 27th, and kind of a rough morning for me as my Buckeyes lost to that team up north for the first time in 10 years. Won the last 9 in a row, so they were about due. Also, we played like crap, so bad morning for me. But I did want to do a video today because I haven't done a video in a while. Two of my managers at one of my shops got sick while my business partner was also sick. The two managers had COVID, so I was thrown into the shark tank and left to fend for myself on my own. So there was no time for anything else. So what's been going on in the world of crypto? Well, Bitcoin's been pulling back. The entire market's been pulling back. Got a new COVID variant in Africa. And some other things as well as that. I wanted to talk about some positions too that I haven't talked about in a while, like Umbrella Protocol and YFDI, just to touch on them very, very briefly. But want to go over some news, want to go over where we're at with Bitcoin, how that affects the market, what things are looking strong in the crypto world, and then where we're heading and what we're looking like. So if you like that, hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Go ahead. I'll wait a second. No, for real, please hit the like, please hit the subscribe. I do appreciate it greatly. Also remember that none of this is financial advice. Everything in this video is for information and educational purposes only. Do your own research. Remember, I'm just a trader, not a financial advisor, but I do have my opinions and I do want to share those with you. So let's get into it. Okay, so first of all, we want to talk about what's affecting the markets. Well, UK, Germany, Italy confirmed cases of Omicron coronavirus variant, which is the African variant, and this is a big reason why the market dumped. The Dow and S&P dumped, and Bitcoin followed it. So we do have some good news with that with Bitcoin, but I'll get into that in a minute. So there's a new variant from Africa that's spreading. So this happened before. Market sold off. I think like the Moderna options for the Friday expirations were up like 20,000%. So hopefully somebody hit the lottery on that. I doubt it, but hopefully somebody hit the lottery. So that's what's affecting the markets right now. Okay, so really putting pressure on it. People panic, they sell. That's what's going on. So we will try and find a time where things settle out and people gain confidence back, and then the market could start to move up again. That's what you want to look for, and we'll get into that in the chart. So also moving into, I have more news. Actually, only two more news articles than normal. One more news article than normal. There is some good news. There are some bullish people out there. El Salvador celebrates Black Friday, buys 100 Bitcoin for 20% off. I don't like using that term, 20% off. Things go down, and it is a bull market, but it's not looking so hot right now, so you give the impression that no matter what, it's going to go back up. With the addition of 100 coins today, El Salvador holds 1,220 Bitcoin worth roughly 66.3 million, following the crypto assets drop to 54,000. So just wanted to put in there that, you know, he what's his name, Nayib Bukele, he buys Bitcoin when it drops. He buys the dips in a bull market, regardless of, looking at the charts or whatnot. And yeah, that's all there is to it. So people still buying these pullbacks, these dips. Moving on to Russia, from El Salvador to Russia, kind of shows you that Bitcoin is already being used. It's not the future. The future is here. I mean, it is the future, in my opinion. It's going to take a lot of time, though. A lot of time. Also, my opinion. Russians transact $5 billion in crypto each year, Bank of Russia says. Though Russia has become a global leader in the crypto market, the Bank of Russia is still skeptical about Bitcoin. All banks are going to be skeptical about Bitcoin because, especially now with DeFi, it threatens what they do. DeFi, you're getting 8 to 10% returns, if not more, on stable coins, where banks give you 0.1% on savings accounts. So that's kind of where it's at. I mean, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole in this conversation, but I've definitely been down the rabbit hole on what could actually happen at the extreme. But yeah, of course, they're skeptical. Bank of Russia published a fresh review on financial stability on Thursday, pointing out the country's growing role in the $2.8 trillion market. So Russia is using Bitcoin. Transactions are $5 billion each year. Also, a couple big things. one big thing and a couple big companies, a couple big funds. 2 Bitcoin funds launched in Singapore by MAS regulated fund manager. The Bitcoin fund aims to provide simple and secure exposure to Bitcoin for professional investors. Let me tell you why this is important right here. I highlighted this section because the Bitcoin futures ETF launched in the U.S. and the Bitcoin ETF did not pass. It's my belief that that's kind of a way to hold Bitcoin back a little bit. If we had a Bitcoin ETF, that price would have skyrocketed to $250,000, $350,000 because in an ETF, you have to buy the Bitcoin to back it, whereas in a futures ETF, you don't. So no physical Bitcoin was bought. You're just trading the price of Bitcoin in a futures ETF. So the Fintonia Bitcoin physical fund targets institutional investors, large money, seeking direct exposure to Bitcoin, allowing them to buy, store, and sell large amounts of the cryptocurrency. The fund acquires physical Bitcoin, meaning we will buy the actual Bitcoin rather than a derivative instrument on Bitcoin. CHNG. That's either a misprint or I mispronounced it, reportedly said. So they have to buy the physical Bitcoin, and it's going to have to be a lot. So good thing still to happen there. Lastly, moving on, obviously, like the metaverse is still a big thing. I'm expecting some lulls in there since it's seen some big runs and Bitcoin's pulling back. Facebook's centralized metaverse, a threat to decentralized ecosystem? Maybe. Let me tell you this. Facebook's or Meta's metaverse is going to succeed. They're going to succeed. Yes, it's centralized and everybody wants decentralized, but it's Facebook. It's what people know. It's what's simple. Do you trust them? Doubt it, but people don't care. It's simple. That's why they use Coinbase, because it's hard to use other and learn other exchanges and learn how to use decentralized exchanges like Uniswap, which right now the ETH gas fees are make it unusable essentially, but it's easy and it's a go-to. Nevertheless, metaverse tokens such as Decentraland and Sandbox enjoyed extensive rallies on the back of the news, and within a few days of Facebook's announcements, decentralized metaverse project The Sandbox received $93 million in funding from investors, including SoftBank. So, Facebook will succeed. Other decentralized metaverse projects will succeed. Gaming, there will be some that succeed and thrive. So, just don't get into it like because you hate Facebook or something like that, or you hate Mark Zuckerberg, that you think that Meta is going to fail, because it's not. They got tons and tons and tons of money, and they're going to put it into the best stuff that people like. So not a whole lot of news other than that. I mean, the big thing is the coronavirus variant, and we're going to see how the market reacts come Sunday night when futures open. So, and then we'll see the rest of next week. So it could get a little shaky. I wouldn't be surprised to see a little rally Saturday night into Sunday morning, and then to see it sell back down once futures open. We'll see. That's just a random guess. I think Bitcoin looks good, holding this 53.5. Looks bad overall, though. We dropped back below the 50-day moving average a little over a week ago, and we have yet to recover, and we've actually dropped down. Ignore all the lines. I have a lot of lines. I don't expect everybody to make sense of all of them. Bitcoin is the main one you want to be following in crypto land, in crypto. So I'm always watching it, and I think that everybody should, as I always mention, but not looking too hot. I mean, we have to hold this 53.5 or 53,000 area. If we drop down, we want to bounce back above it. The quicker, the better. Being below the 50, not so great. We are above 200 significantly, where the 200 is at 45,977. Those are the main two things I'm watching in this 53.5, around 53.5 support area. We've broken through a lot of support levels, and looking for one to hold till we get really aggressive, because I have dropped, which I am going to also go over, have dropped quite a few positions, and have been doing that for a while now. And I generally announce that in Stock Market Mentor, but I have dropped out of a bunch of positions, and it has worked out really well. Moving on, looking at Bitcoin dominance, we saw that huge rise saw that huge rise, and now we've just pulled back. Not much going on, not really much to look at here. Altcoins kind of going through same type of pullback below the 50-day moving average on the total 2, which includes Ethereum and all altcoins. And then you can see we got rejected at the 50-day moving average on the total 3, which is the altcoin market cap without Ethereum. Looking at Ethereum, also dropping below the 50-day moving average. So as you can see, the trend here is that we want to get back above the 50-day moving average. That's really it. You'll watch at the support level at 53.5/53,000 for Bitcoin, and you watch to get above the 50-day moving average before you get bullish again. That's my advice. Here are my positions. This is last updated about November 16th. So I did drop Polkadot and Kusama. Just haven't been doing, they were looking really strong. The parachains hit for Polkadot, so the catalyst for now is over with that. Just thought people would really see how much money you could make if you participate in the crowd loans, and then the project that you're participating in, staking Polkadot with, wins a parachain, like how much money you can make. But yeah, I dropped those. I don't participate in the crowd loans really. That's not quite my thing. But I did drop those two, and could be a mistake. I did drop Render a lot earlier than expected. As you can see, I was expecting to see a pullback to the 2 to 250 area, and it was around $5 here, and it ran up to like $8. It just got listed on Binance. Solana is still hold. Superfarm is still hold all of these. Phantom I have down to 35% position. When the conference came, I was selling pretty much every day. Dropped Algo, and I dropped DeFi Click. I sold Shake because it went up over 3,000, and I'll buy it if it pulls back. And then I also dropped Exceed Me. I don't know. That could be a good one, but again, I had a lot of positions, and I really wanted to consolidate my portfolio. So I wanted to hold on to what I feel is the best and the most important ones that I hold. So also, yeah, I was in a trade in Anchor protocol that I sold. It had a really good day, and Bitcoin not looking strong. Makes me want to, it was just a trade. So Anchor protocol, they are a Web3 infrastructure. You could read up on them if you want to. For me, it was just based off the chart. Didn't save anything. We had some breaking out happening, and I bought in a little premature, but worked out pretty good. I bought in around 12 cents, worked out really good. And you can see that if we end with one of these candles, we're probably going to come back into support, if not the breakout area. So that's an update on my portfolio. I do still hold Umbrella. That's one of those ones that I just think could be competitive with Chainlink. We have pulled back. I sold a bunch in the high 60s, and then it ran to like 90 cents, or what did it go to? A high of 92, 97, and then I ended up buying a little bit back recently. I dropped down to the 60s, and it just did not look good. But you can see similar pattern as we saw over here. As long as we hold this, we're above the 200-day moving average, but same trend as everything else, falling below the 50-day moving average. So it's one that I hold. YFDI I'm not too happy with. I thought about selling it mainly from a fundamental standpoint, just because, I mean, the project, like the chief operating officer, I believe, resigned to pursue other business ventures. So, what wasn't good about YFDI? That you thought there was something better out there? They didn't fulfill timelines on lending and borrowing, wallet, debit cards still not around as far as I know. They had one new launch, Quick Trust, which I wasn't very impressed with. Didn't get a lot of volume, but the staking is 72%. So that's the only reason that I keep holding on to it. Looking a little extended from the 50-day moving average on the downside. We do have this kind of falling wedge here, but you look lower high, lower high, lower high. This sell-off was bound to happen, broke through support. But we do have this little falling wedge here, so watch for the break of that. And I don't have a lot in this. Again, it's a micro cap, so out of all my micro caps, I spread out between 5 and 10% of my entire portfolio. So for me, it's just kind of like a realization that some might do 10,000%, hopefully one, if any, and some will go to zero, like they'll be non-existent. They won't succeed. So it's just kind of like I have a little, it's almost like being a venture capitalist. A lot of different things, a small amount, and one out of however many, have exponential gains. So that's what I look at with these microcaps. So YFDI, not very happy with, not too impressed with. If you're not in it, I wouldn't suggest getting in it. So that's just kind of the way it goes sometimes with these microcaps. And, I'm holding this because it's got 72% staking. So I'm not in the red. So I wanted to get into a few more. I did pick up Sunny aggregator again, and it was a good thing I did get out of it. I bought it at 0.036, sold it for a little loss a month or two ago, and it's back down right below a penny. Picked it up a little bit below 0.012, doing pretty good so far. I don't know if that's the updated price because I'm using Gate.io for the charting, and there we go. So 0.0138. So doing well even with Bitcoin being down. Just see it as undervalued and might see some bottom feeders off of this one, including myself. IMX, Immutable X, I'm big on that one, especially with the metaverse happening everywhere, that this is going to be the layer 2 scaling solution for Ethereum that all the NFTs and gaming cryptos are going to want to build on. Had quite the nice run, already close to, if not above, a $2 billion market cap. So it's not one of those that you're looking to do like life-changing gains, but it's in this steady uptrend that it is looking really solid still. So still like that. And of course, they're partnered with TikTok. And from what I hear and the rumors from all the podcasts and YouTubes that I watch, that they have partnerships lined up that are probably about as big, if not close to as big or bigger as that one. So it's just should continue to see stuff like that roll out with them. Anyways, moving on, Super Farm looked like it double topped a little bit right here, so you could see further downside. It is, if you notice, above 50-day moving average, unlike a lot of other things. So looking better than most. Could see a little bit further of a pullback to test the 50-day moving average right when it comes down to this low here on the 17th at $1.35. That's where I'll be looking to add or buy if you're not in it. Barnbridge, Bond, I'm big on that one. Mark Yusko, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, I'm sorry, is big on this, really, really big on this. They've been a while forever, and they have the very confusing Smart Alpha, but essentially what it allows is in their junior contracts allow for more leverage exposure to the upside, and their seniors allow for more risk protection to the downside. So their goal is to attract big institutional investors, get a lot of money into it. So a lot of work to do. Still got to break out here and got to get it back above the 50-day moving average, just like everything else right now. So that's what I'll be watching for if I'm looking to add, want to see some strength out of that. We are looking bottomed out a little bit on the stochastic RSI and MACD. If we could flip this and start moving upwards, this trade's really thin, only a 5 million supply, and you've seen it could move really quick, if it wants to. It's been held down and it's been sold off. Almost had 10 red days in a row here, so very frustrating to any holders, but you could see how quickly it could rise and sell off, that if it got any momentum and got some traction going with it. One of those higher risk ones still, probably consider it in the micro caps, even though it's $100 million $100 million market cap. I do put that in that same category. So little bit more secure. It's not like it's a $2 million market cap, but still not something you want to put all your eggs in one basket into. But I am really big on this. I believe in the fundamental side of it, and what they're essentially the only project doing what they're doing, and they're at the head of the pack. So it's a chance that if this type of thing with using tranches works out, then they're going to lead the way. And they only have a 5 million circulating supply with a 10 million max supply. So that is everything I wanted to go over for today. I wanted to keep it short still. I really don't want videos going over 20-30 minutes. And I wanted to go over my positions, what's going on with the stock market, and why Bitcoin's following it with the African variant of coronavirus. This happened before with the Delta variant, and it sold off, and then we started to work our way upwards. One thing I did want to add is the fear and greed index. Right now, the fear and greed index is extreme fear, 21. So we always see, like when we get into the high 70s or even 80s with extreme greed, we have big sell-offs. On the opposite side of that, especially being a bull market, still considered a bull market, the 50-day is above the 200-day moving average substantially, even though the prices drop below it. Extreme fear is the time you want to be looking to your support levels and look to add or buy, whatever you're holding. That's how it goes in a bull market. People buy the fear and sell the greed. I wanted to go over some news articles. There are still lots and lots of things, lots of big money that's investing into here, and still some things to come out. It does look like the stock to flow, if you follow Plan B, didn't play out to that $98,000 Bitcoin this month. He's still saying that 100,000, but that's not something that I really follow too closely. It was playing out pretty nice, but it's just not my style. But it would have been nice to see, but we'll see how the rest of the year plays out, and this is a good thing because it just means that we don't have that exhaustion gap, we don't have that climax top or blow off top, and that just allows for the market to run for a longer period of time. So that's a good thing for the future. So we'll see where we go from here. Watch for futures to open in the stock market, U.S. stock market, on Sunday evening to see how the market responds, because Bitcoin will probably follow the stock market. And didn't mention too much about the U.S. dollar today, but also want to keep an eye on that. Pretty much when the U.S. dollar gains value, Bitcoin loses value, and vice versa. So didn't mention too much on that, anything on that today, but did mention a lot. So if you did like today's video, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. I appreciate it greatly, and we'll see you next time.